Let it roll.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Charlie Plant. I'm principal at MetWest High School. And I'm standing here with my friend Tony Friend behind the camera. Hi, Tony.
How you doing?
Okay. Tony is taping me because I want to talk about, in the context of the NGLC grant, the specific needs and the very unusual program that MetWest have, and what our vision is for increasing digital literacy and a culture of technology in the school. So behind me, you see we're a project-based school, but we're not the usual kind of project-based school in that the projects are like classroom-bound. We deal with projects that involve the world and real people and get the kids out into the world. So necessarily, we're looking at digital literacy in the terms of our students developing familiarity with tools that are used in the real world. Here's one example, and we're going to go look at another. This is an example. This is a 10th grade project that our 10th grade started. And our 10th grade teachers do an integrated curriculum around literacy and social reasoning. So this is a project where our teachers wanted to help our students understand the flow of capital around the world. So they decided to look at that issue through the lens of shoes. Because shoes, as we all know, are extremely important to high school students. So what they did is they brought in shoes, they took them apart, they began to research. They had to research the history of shoemaking in America. They had to research where shoes are made, how much they cost, who's making them, what the retail price, what's the budget, what's the politics, what the economics around shoes are. So they learned it from all aspects, from the manufacturing and resource end, what resources are used to actually make the shoes, where do they come from, how do they get transported to the factories, who's in the factories making them, who's paying for that, who's importing them and wholesaling them, who's retailing them, who's buying them, how much they cost. And then each student had to assume a role, based on their research, of some part of the journey, either of a rubber plantations worker in South America, of a 14-year-old Thai child working in a shoe factory in Thailand, of an importer international importer, a wholesaler in the United States distributing, advertising, right down to the manager of a Foot Locker store, and then to the kids themselves wearing them. And then they had to create what you call, an artistic novel account of that story all the way through, and that's what you see here. So this is a project that cut across social lines. They had to look at social justice, they had to look at economics, they had to learn how to use Excel sheets, to research, to do digital tools, and collaborate. So this is the kind of projects that we use to build digital literacy in the school. And I'm going to show you one more in a moment. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, God. Oh.
Okay, I'm back. So this is a follow-up to the previous video around the shoe project. So this is an 11th grade project here, but it's a follow-up on a project our 11th graders did where they examined equitable use of public funding, specifically around public transit, in a partnership with Y-Plan and UC Berkeley. So the students in that particular project actually had to go out and work with the planning office of AC Transit, the local public transit board, and they actually researched routes, ridership, did open-ended, closed-ended surveys with passengers, and then made specific recommendations to AC Transit around their routing and their policies that had to be budget neutral. So this was and then they actually presented at the board. So it was a real-world project where they had to learn the real tools of organization of data, research, Excel spreadsheet, creating graphs, and then presenting. So the next step for this group was to take those skills, and they're each choosing now something of particular interest to them and using those research skills to explore it. And we call it the I-search. And they each have to decide what the issue is, what are experts and people saying about this, and where do I fit in. And I'll give you a couple examples. But they're using the skills that were developed in that guided group project they did with AC Transit out in the world. So for instance, Jenny's essential question is to convince people not to have an abortion. Tyreek, his essential question, the changing culture of hip-hop. The essential question for the whole project for all the students is, how can I use my interests and passions to deeply research an important issue? Midwives versus obstetricians, the drug war in Mexico, the issue of gentrification and those most adversely affected, the poor and working class, African Americans and Latinos, etc. So, the reason we do this, we serve students from East and West Oakland, predominantly Latino, African American, and very often come to school, certainly by high school, with certain challenges. So for instance, out of 42 ninth graders that we have, 25 of them are multiple levels below in reading, and 8 out of 42 function at the first or second grade level or below. However, their minds are extremely sharp, and digitally, they're very adept. We want to expose them to the tools and the thinking that will help them understand the world around them and be able to take action. And so also then they have professional opportunities when they graduate. So our vision for digital literacy at MetWest is a culture where the ability to use this incredible digital world and tools around us is threaded through everything we do with our students. Obviously, we need to use project management tools. We need to use researching tools, networking, etc. So the community is our classroom, and the community is where our digital literacy is going to reside. So thank you very much, everybody.